What is this garbage you're watching? I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of that Gang Stalking Show. My name is Doug. I'm a TI, and I've been a TI since 2004. And I've been trying to cut this video for hours. I reset my phone 3 times to try to make this video. And I want to show you something real quick. I'm a TI, and I've been a TI since 2004. And I just say that for the benefit of... Okay, here we go. That's a picture. Hello, folks. Welcome to another episode of that Gang Stalking Show. My name is Doug. I'm a TI, and I've been a TI since 2004. And I just say that for the benefit of the people who know nothing about targeting. This video that I cut on my phone, I cut it immediately after I did a hard reset, thinking that I could record the video and then get the video to my phone, to my laptop, and then upload it to my channel. Previously, I've been able to do that, but I can't do that anymore because they figured out a quicker way to hack my phone and immediately lock up files on my phone. I've actually had files wiped off my phone, remotely wiped off my phone. This can only be done through Stingray technology, through corrupt law enforcement who has access to this technology, and this technology should only be used in criminal investigations where a warrant has been presented to do so. These people circumvent the law. They belong to this local KKK. Yes, there are law enforcement officers who belong to the local KKK. I hate to say anything bad about law enforcement because I support law enforcement. I back the blue. I think they need raises. I think they need the best equipment possible to combat crime. But one thing I hate more than anything else is a corrupt law enforcement officer, because that person has betrayed the trust of the community they have been given charge to serve. On every law enforcement vehicle throughout the United States, it says to protect and to serve. What corrupt law enforcement does is they protect their own interests, and they protect the criminal interests which they serve. They're the kind of people that bust people for drugs, and they keep a little stash for themselves for personal use or to sell. I don't think there's many in my town, but I know that there's a few. It breaks my heart to have to make a video like this, but I have to. Before I get any further, I'm going to say this. I am still in dire need of funds. I don't need that much. I just need gas money so I can go look for work. I have a pressure washing service, and it's hard finding work right now because everybody is waiting for the pollen to stop falling. But in the meantime, at least I can find 1 or 2 jobs here and there. And if I can find something for 50, 100 bucks, that's great. That gives me more gas to go look for more jobs. But the other day, and I just say this, if you would please donate to my PayPal account. It's just to get gas, that's it. The other day, I made plans, and they knew about these plans, that I was going to call the local community action program to get rental assistance. As you know, my last rent was late and somebody helped me out with that. But now rent is due again, and it's past being due, and I face eviction again. So I was hoping come Wednesday I would be able to call this local number and get penciled in so I could receive rental assistance for this month. So at least I wouldn't have to worry about living in my truck. Well, lo and behold, since my phone is hacked, I make that call, and every time I make the call, I get deet, 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 deet. I don't get a busy signal. I get a no connection signal. Deet, 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 deet. So I call other numbers. Every number goes through. So what happened? I go back and I look at my call records. These are my call records. The call record I have for that has been wiped off because I've wiped my phone down 3 or 4 times trying to make a video. But it had the same number listed 6 times, and directly against the number, it had 6 times in parentheses, called canceled, called canceled, called canceled, called canceled, called canceled. $850 paperwork. iPhone 12. You can't hack it unless you have a Stingray. So what happened is these corrupt law enforcement said, we know he's trying to get rental assistance. We don't want him to have that. We want him to be homeless. Again! So they succeeded. So around 9 o'clock, well, even before then, I'd already made several calls and I couldn't get through, and I was getting this bad number. So I go to the community action program, and they said, just keep calling. I keep calling, and finally at 9 o'clock, after all applications had been submitted and all funds were, taken care of, couldn't dispense any more funds, my call goes through. And it says, thank you for calling Tyler Path, people attempting to help. If you are calling about trying to get rental assistance, we're sorry. We've already accepted all the applications that we can receive for this month. Please call back next month at this date and at this time to see if you can have rental assistance. I have a hard time wrapping my head around someone being that vicious and that wicked and that evil. Another reason I have that problem wrapping my head around it is that these people have watched me closely for the past 17 years. They've watched every internet site I've been to. They have never once caught me going on the dark web looking for dark things. Sure, they followed me to a lot of pornography sites. Hundreds of tabs popped open. But you know what about that? 95% of people that are sexually active now look at pornography. It's just an accepted fact. So I wasn't doing anything differently than anybody else does, nor than what they do. With my phone being hacked, they don't have to watch this video because they can hear what I'm saying right now through my phone because it's right there. So in the morning time, when I get up, somewhere between 5:30 and 8 o'clock in the morning, as soon as I brush my teeth and I take my medicine, I come right here and I read the good books. They know that I rededicated my life to the Lord back in August. They know that. They know that I no longer listen to heavy metal or filthy music or filthy rap, and I occasionally relapse into sin. But when I do, I get back on my knees, I repent, and I confess because I know I grieve the Holy Spirit. I suspect that every time I have a relapse, they're going, look at that evil, nasty, wicked pervert. God doesn't like him. We need to kill him because God doesn't like that. If it's not that, these people get on their knees and they pray to Lucifer. I don't know this for a fact. But how could any man pursue another man who is going to church, who is reading the Bible, who is mere pages away from reading the entire Bible? This is where I'm at. I'm here in Hebrews. I've only got a couple of more books to go before I'm finished. I've read all of this book, this Bible, since the first week of August. I spend 30 minutes to sometimes 2 hours a day reading scripture. When I'm riding around in my truck and I got my phone up like this in the little carriage, they can see me. And they can hear me talk to God when I'm driving down the road. Dear Lord, I'm just checking in with you. I just want to give you thanks. And I say a prayer out loud. And I even pray for them. constantly, every single day. There's times that I have conversations with these people, not by calling them up, but like the other day when I tried to call for rental assistance and I couldn't get it. I have this cathartic moment where I'm sitting here and I'm talking to him through the phone. Why? Why do you keep doing this to me, man? Why are you mocking me and kneecapping me? Why is it so important for you to destroy my life? And it's not the whole clan doing this. It's one person in this clan outfit who is organizing all these people to follow me, vehicular harassment, directed conversation, street theaters, and noise campaign. And he gets on the phone to his law enforcement buddies who are corrupt. And then at certain times throughout the day, they'll drive up and down my street with their alarms going off. There's even a time, and it's on video, you can go back and look at my video back in August, where I go outside and EMS pulls right up into the parking lot, both sirens going, all the lights going, and they're there to harass me with the noise. Then they leave the parking lot, they go a block down the street, they take a right, all lights go off, all sirens go off, and all of a sudden everything's well. And I can tell you as somebody who's called EMS probably 100 times in my life as part of my job as a nurse, that they don't ride around with both the those both don't go off at the same time. The you go down the road with that. When you approach an intersection, let people know you're coming through. Well, they had both sirens going off a mile down the road, and I could hear them as I'm walking out my apartment. And I say on my phone, I bet that's for me. I just thought they were going to go down the street and keep making noise. But what they did is they came into my parking lot and they came directly to me. There was other aspects of the parking lot they could have went to. And the thing about EMS is when they get a call to be dispatched to someplace, they know exactly where to go. They pull right up to me with all these horns blaring and sirens and lights to antagonize me or to intimidate me. Then they stop and they laugh and they go, ha 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 ha, you know where the emergency is? Ha ha ha. Then they drive off. They go down the street, they take a right, lights go off, sirens go off, everything goes off. Turns it all off. They do it. And you know they do it. They do it to you, they do it to me, and this is all one big inside joke. And these people are just happy as larks. They're destroying their other people's lives and they don't care. I'm trying to earn a living. I'm trying to do something with my life. I am every day living my life in service to my Lord and Savior. They don't care. You know, I could become a celibate priest and they would still come after me trying to kill me. Because they have no reverence for God. They have no reverence for the people who are trying to find God. Why? Well, it's not all them, really. It's not all them. It's this one person. This one person who is out to destroy me. And I'm going to let you know something about this person. I met him, and I didn't think it was him. I thought that all of this was way, way beneath him. He wouldn't do this. But I figured this guy out. He's way up there. He's way up there in the clan. He's a shot caller. And here's what I'm seeing. My last campaign of harassment that I went through, the last campaign that I went through, I ran into many, many perpetrators whose heart was simply not in it. They showed up to do street theater, directed conversation, whatever it was they were dispatched to do, and I could tell by looking at them, it wasn't in their heart. One such person, I used to go to a park all the time and walk last year. And they knew I went to this park. I found this walking stick. It was a tree. I cut it down there at the park, and I whittled it down, and I brought it home. They knew I'd been going to this park all the time to walk. And since it was a new campaign, they're like, it's a perfect opportunity to do some mimicry on him. So what they do is they send this guy out about my age, maybe a little bit older, and he's in a white F-150. And all these white F-150s, white cars, they're all associated with the Klan. And the reason I know this is because I went to this man's house one night at a party where he got drunk and he was trying to brawl somebody. And the party ended because, you know, he lost his mind and he was trying to brawl with somebody, and the whole party everybody left. This one person came up to our car and goes, man, I'm sorry about this, man. He does this every single time he gets drunk. Every time he gets drunk, he wants to argue and he wants to brawl. And I'd met this guy a couple of times. And one of the things that he was trying to impart to me is he would tell me of all the times he beat up people, you know, how violent he was and this, that, and the other. And he really wanted me to know, I'm a bad dude, man. I'm a bad dude. I'm not making fun of him. He is a bad dude. But here's what I'm alluding to. He's high up in this organization, and I'll tell you why. Because I had a relationship with someone one time, and they were basically telling me he's a murderer. This person I had a relationship with for 6 years, every 6 months I would get this, have you ever killed anybody? You ever murdered anybody? I'm like, you know I'm a nurse. No, I don't even know anybody that would do such a thing. You know why she was doing this? It's called projection. And I'll let you understand projection if you don't understand it. We all do this in some form or another. And many of you young men, or men my age now, will understand this completely when I give you this. When we're young and we're trying to etch those little notches in our bedpost, how many times, at least one time, did we say, is it big enough? Is it as big as the other guys? That's projection. We're curious because we don't know what everybody else has got, and we just want to make sure that our junk is adequate. You know? We all do this. We've all done it. So what she was basically saying to me is this. Is it normal to kill people? Because I know people that have killed people, and I just don't know whether or not it's right. Then there was another time. We never had one argument in 6 years of this relationship. She said to me, because I'd done something that had pissed her off, and I don't know what it was, and it said, Doug, you know, don't do this, you're making me mad. She basically said this, and I've run into a lot of this in my life, and I do know a little bit about psychology. So what she was doing is being passive aggressive. And she said to me, I want to tell you a little story. I go, okay, what's the story? She goes, my daddy, and this man that we're talking about right here, my daddy took me to my grandfather's gravesite and goes, you know who was there? Yeah, that's granddaddy so-and-so. He goes, no. Your granddaddy, your great-granddaddy was a grand imperial wizard of the Klan. And what she was trying to do was to tell me that I am in this organization. And if you don't respect me or you make me mad, I'm going to go tell my daddy, and my daddy's going to beat you up or do something bad to you. That's what she was telling me. Then there would be other times we'd go out to eat. And then out of clear blue sky, she'd go, you never want to make my daddy mad at you. I'm like, I've only met him once. I mean, am I doing something to make him mad? No, 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 no. I'm just letting you know. You never want to make my daddy mad at you. So it's this same daddy who's trying his damnedest to kill me, using corrupt law enforcement and using this corrupt network of people in this illegal program. It's not just the Klan that's doing this. This is an illegal program, and during my last campaign of harassment, which lasted for almost 6 months, there were people that came in from out of town driving rental cars that had fake paper tags on the back and no tags on the front. I was flooded with these cars. I've got hundreds of photographs of these cars. So I recognize from the get-go that they're not pulling from the Klan conscripts to do this. These are people outside the Klan, because there were white, black, yellow, green, Hispanic, non-Hispanic, black, brown, every color, every flavor. And I even spoke to several of them, and I knew they weren't from the Klan, and I knew that they weren't local. And they would post up at certain routes, and I talked to some of them, and I got them to spill the beans on the program. There was even a man who walked on my property dressed shabbily, trying to look like a G-man, wearing this fake $20 bulletproof vest that wasn't bulletproof anything. I could have shot him with a pellet gun and penetrated it. But he wore the vest. He wore a lanyard that had a badge, which you couldn't read because I was like 30 feet away from him. He's walking down the sidewalk, and he's walking with a little folder like this. It's got a metal encasement with a little lock on it. There's no gun. There's no pepper spray. There's no handcuffs. There's nothing to identify him as an officer of the law. But he's dressed in a blue dress shirt that was wrinkled. His khakis were like this. They were wrinkled. They weren't good Dockers. His shoes, they looked like food service worker shoes. You know, the kind you wear like at Dairy Queen or Whataburger or McDonald's. And he's trying to walk through the property looking like he's a G-man. I was having a conversation with my neighbor, and she saw him, and I said, turn around and look at this guy. And I was talking to her about this program, and I said, does that guy look normal? She goes, no. When I finished up that conversation, now I was telling her that this is an illegal federal program, and what this guy was doing was trying to appear like an FBI, but there's no DEA, no FBI, no CIA, no law enforcement, nothing on his person identified him as a lawman. And the reason for that is that's impersonating a law enforcement officer. I'd been talking to my landlord downstairs, property manager, and I told her about this guy because I wanted to keep her fully aware of what was going on in case crazy things were happening at my apartment. I told her about this guy, and she'd been mostly disinterested in anything that I had to say. But when I told her about this guy, she goes, I saw that guy. I was going to approach him and ask him, why are you here? What are you doing on our property? So, I do know that there are a lot of people involved in this program. There are conscripts. I do know that they're calling out people to harassment that just simply don't have the heart to do it anymore. I know that there are people who joined this cult or Klan or whatever it is when they were younger and wilder and had a different worldview than they have now after they've matured and aged. But the problem is now is they can't get out. But they still get stuck being conscripted to show up and do directed conversation, mobbing, street theater, and mimicry. One such case is I went to a park one day to go walking, And I found this little tree and I cut it down. And while I was there, I got it down the best that I could. The next day I come back. This is during the campaign. There was a guy in a white F-150 Ford truck. He was a Klan member. But I can tell you by looking at him, his heart wasn't in it. The back of his truck was lined up with walking stick after walking stick after walking stick, and he was there under the guise of, I'm just here to sell walking sticks. He was there to mock me. He was there because he was conscripted. Hey, we know this Klan brother. He makes walking sticks. Let's go get him to load up his walking sticks and be down there at Faulkner Park in Tyler, Texas, so we can show Douglas Jones that we got our eyes on him and we're mocking him. So I go up to talk to this guy, and as I talk to him, I'm taking pictures. I got a couple of photographs, a couple of videos, and I still got them. Haven't posted them yet. So I'm talking to him. His head is like, he's nervous. He's visibly shaking. When I talk to him, he don't make eye contact. He's like looking around like I wish I was somewhere else other than here right now. I don't want to be here. This guy has not done me any problems. I don't know why in the hell this guy keeps sending us on these stupid assignments to harass this man. We've had our eyes on him for 17 long years. We have not caught him doing a single illegal thing. Why do you keep calling us out here to harass him? So that was one time. There was another time I caught a guy who was parked right next to a Walmart waiting on me to come pick up groceries. And I had time to kill, so I stopped at the Taco Bell right next door. I got me a burrito. He's parked this way, and I'm parked like right over there where the TV is. And I'm parked dead straight at him. I take my glasses off, I turn my hat around, and as I'm eating my burrito, I'm staring at him and I'm giving him one of these looks like this. And I'm sitting there cursing to myself and I'm angry. Then I walk over to him and I start talking to him about harassment, gaslighting, mobbing, mimicry, being a conscript, being a pawn in this gang stalking game. And this guy's sitting there smoking a cigarette. He's hotboxing it. He can't stop smoking. And I'm like 3 feet away on the other side of his car. And I'm giving him one of these looks like, dude, if I wouldn't go to jail right now, I would snatch you up out of this car and I'd whip your tail. He looks at me. I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't never heard of gangs talking. I don't know what a targeted individual is. So that lasted a few minutes until he was right about ready to have a heart attack or a panic attack, put his car in reverse, and he boogied on out of there. I can't count how many times I would pull up into a Walmart parking lot ready to pick up my order for that dispatch, and there'd be somebody in a white truck pointing that truck right at me. Let me know. I got eyes on you. We're the Klan of East Texas. We're everywhere. We got our eyes on you. And then as I continue to go out through my day, making deliveries, using my G-Map, my Apple Map, white F-150s, every quarter mile, every half mile to every destination. If I went way out into the country to deliver to someone 15 miles out in the boonies, they would be posting up, white truck, F-150, just like those same F-150s at that party. And what the deal is, is this man that's trying to 86 me. He can't let it go. He's got an ego. He's already told everybody in the world that he is going to kill me. And so he's conscripting people that don't want to have anything to do with this. I know he is. He's calling people up when I was driving late at night, so they'd show up on the other side of town, and as I go over a hill and they know I'm going to be there, they're parked on the other way, like I'm going this way. They're over here, parked the other way, so that as soon as I go over the hill, they'll turn their headlights on, poof, and then I'll pass by them. I'll go around a corner, go up a hill, go another hill, and park against the side of the curb, poof, headlights come on, then they go off. Then I'll go on my route out into the country. Every few miles, somebody be parked on the side of the road, and poof, headlights come on, poof, they go off. Always white Ford F-150. So this guy has got powerful connections. And I told you, I think I told you that this young lady kept telling me, you never want to mess with my daddy. He knows a lot of people. My daddy knows a lot of people. You don't want to make my daddy mad. And as far as I know, I didn't do anything to make her mad. And when she told me that story about the Klan, I didn't think, she's trying to be passive aggressive to me. You know what I thought? I thought to myself, I said, maybe she's just trying to get this off her chest. Who knows? I don't know. Perhaps some of my kinfolk were in the Klan. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and pass judgment on her. I don't know. I'm not going to pass judgment on anybody in the Klan. It's your constitutional, God-given right to hate who you want to hate. To be in any organization, as long as you're not breaking any law. You do your Black Lives Matter. You do your Black Panther thing. You do your Klan thing. You do your Crip thing. You do your blood thing. But don't come at me with your BS. When you can pick up a phone and be a man, or write a letter and tell me what the grievance is and tell me what I have to do to make things right. Why are you involving Smith County and Cherokee County and every county all over the state of Texas, no matter where I go? Why are you bringing all these people into your business? Why are you getting these people to hate on me when half of them really don't know me and the other half don't want to have anything to do with this? The truth of the matter is that a lot of people join gangs when they're younger. A lot of people join the Klan when they're younger. A lot of people join the skinheads when they're younger. And as we grow out of these things. I can't count how many documentaries I've watched on people who used to be Klan members who are no longer Klan members. People that used to be skinheads that are no longer skinheads. People that used to gang bang and split wigs that no longer do either one. However, there are people who are still in these organizations who wish they weren't. But for whatever reason, they're afraid to get out. They're afraid of blood in, blood out, and they're afraid of being retaliated against. And so like that man that showed up in his white F-150 with a truck full of wooden sticks, walking sticks, was there as a part of mimicry, as a part of gang stalking. He didn't want to be there at all. The man that I confronted that was chain smoking, he didn't want to be there at all. This kid that I confronted at Taco Bell, he didn't want to be there at all. The other people that I've confronted, they don't want to do this. The people that get dispatched at 10 o'clock at night when they should be at home in their boxers, sipping on a cold beer on a Friday or Saturday night, or on a Sunday afternoon watching the Dallas Cowboys play, they get a phone call. Hey, I need you to get up, and I need you to show up and turn those one headlights on and follow this Doug Jones around. And instead of these people saying, look, dude, I am tired of it. This guy's had 17 years of it. We've given him everything that we have. We have not found anything criminal about him other than the fact that he's looked at pornography, and truth be known, we all look at pornography. Leave the guy alone or settle the beef yourself. Leave me out of your bullshit. Yeah, that's what these people want to say to him. But nobody says anything to him because he's a violent man. Remember that story I told you about when I went to that party? Person had to come up and apologize for him. Party was going good. Everybody is sipping beer, having a good time. I didn't have a problem with anybody. I didn't know anybody who was Klan members. And if somebody would have walked up and said, hey, Doug, everybody around you is a bunch of Klan members, I'd be like, wow, these are pretty good people, man. They're jamming out some good music. I talked to a few of them. They seem like good people. I don't have a problem with them. And for those of you that are with the Klan right now watching this video, I don't have a problem with you. You don't have a problem with me. This problem is with Wayne Morris. And it's not Wayne Morris against Doug Jones. It's his problem. He's got a thin skin. He's got a thin ego. And he cannot get over this. He has to prove to everybody in the Klan and everybody in East Texas and in Texas and the worldwide network of clans that he is Billy Bo Badass, and he's going to make good on killing me. He doesn't care that he has to call somebody up at 10 o'clock at night and make them put their pants on and go do something they don't want to do against somebody they don't have a problem with. So Wayne Morris, stop it. Stop kneecapping me. You took my career as a nurse. You've destroyed my relationships with my family, my friends. You have slandered my name by telling people I'm a freaking pedophile. And you know damn good and well that's a lie. And you better not ever say that to my face. And you better not ever send anybody to my face to say that. I am tired of your bullshit. Be a fucking man. Handle your own shit. Leave me alone! And for you corrupt law enforcement, you will get caught. Somebody will catch you. Don't be a fool for this man. Take responsibility for your own actions. You are hired to protect and serve Smith County and Tyler, Texas, not to serve that man with a thin ego in Bullard, Texas. Stop it. Leave me alone. You have not found one illegal thing on anything I do. Leave me alone. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to make something of my life. Leave me alone! Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for that. I apologize for my language, but it had to be said. I'm tired of this. My bills can't get paid, not because I don't want to work, not because I'm lazy, not because nobody wants to hire me. It's because this man in Bullard, Texas will do anything he can to kneecap me, to take away my money, and to take away my livelihood. He will tell anybody anything about me to get them to do his dirty work. All he had to do was call me on the phone or write me a letter. And I'm going to make a public apology to him and his daughter. I had a 6-year relationship with her, and during those 6 years, we never had one argument. Not one. I owed her $10,000. I actually owed a loan that she co-signed for. I was going to pay the loan back, but I fell on hard times. I was relegated to working a low-end wage job because I got a DWI in 2004. I lost my driver's license and I couldn't drive. So I had to ride a bicycle and work at a lowly paying job as a medication nurse at Russ State Hospital. I couldn't take a second job because there was no other place to work. I couldn't leave my one job at 10:15 at night and to go to work someplace else in town because there's no shift to work at, only 1 or 2 nursing homes. So I worked this job and I didn't have enough money to pay bills, pay rent, or pay anything. She called me one night asking me, when are you going to start paying on this? Only time I ever yelled at her in my entire life, and as God is my witness, that was the only time I ever yelled at her. I was heartbroken over this relationship loss. Severely heartbroken. And when she called me, I was screwed up on pills. I wasn't sleeping because I was screwed up on medication I shouldn't be on. I was on so much medicine that I couldn't fall asleep at night, and then when I did, I couldn't wake up to 3 alarm clocks. I can tell you right now, I wake up every morning without an alarm clock, and I go to bed no problem every night because I'm no longer on those medications from seeing quack medical doctors. Anyway, when she called, I was screwed up on pills and I was already 3 sheets under the wind, drunk. When she called, it hurt. And I just felt bad and I was resentful because the relationship ended. And I said something to the effect of, I'm not going to pay you a fucking dime. And to tell you the truth, I regret saying that, and I regret being mean to her, being hostile to her, and I didn't mean any of it. At some point in everyone's life, you get in a bad situation, you get screwed up on drugs or alcohol or something, and you say something to a friend, family member, or loved one that you certainly didn't mean, and I did not mean that. I didn't realize it until the next day, what I'd said, and immediately after that conversation in 2004, that's when my gang stalking began. It began directly after that. So I apologize to you, and I apologize to your father. I've apologized many times through the phone, having conversations because my phone's hacked. I remember a year later, she came to my house to get me to sign the divorce papers. And I just jokingly asked, I really didn't even know her dad. Just like, hey, your dad got sending out henchmen for me? I was just kidding. She looked at me and she goes, yeah, you don't want to know, cowboy. You don't want to know. So yeah, he sent his henchmen after me. And since that phone conversation, my life has been a miserable hell. I worked my ass off to become an LVN. I went to school 5 days a week, 6 to 8 hours a day, clinicals getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, being at the clinical site, doing everything that is asked of me and exceeding everyone's expectations. I graduated nursing school after taking my NCLEX exam, and I passed the first time I took it. I got hired as a med-surg nurse at East Texas Medical Center, and I worked there for 19 months. And for the course of my career, I never had any derogatory or anything bad said about me. Matter of fact, I got commendation after commendation, letter of recommendation after letter of recommendation. I worked for nursing agencies when other nurses would say, I can only do this shift, I can only do that. They would call me, and after I work 8 hours, you want to work another 8? I'm like, shoot, yeah, sign me up. So they were always congratulating me on being outstanding student, not student nurse, but outstanding nurse, employee of the month, month after month. I got employee of the month after month at East Texas Medical Center. And when these people, using the resources of the Klan and other people in the community to spread lies that I'm some type of pedophile or that I've done something that is really just morally reprehensible or just making up all kinds of lies, I start noticing my life is falling apart, and it has nothing to do with me being irresponsible or doing something that is causing my life to fall apart. My life is falling apart simply because there's people interfering in my life, and I've never ever encountered this kind of interference in my life before. From 2004 until 2008, 2004 until 2010, I endured this gang stalking. But in October of 2008, I had so many instances of where I was being harassed at work that I could not concentrate any longer being a nurse. You people don't understand what it's like to be a nurse. You have to understand drug calculations, drip factors, all these things that goes into being a nurse, and critical thinking, excellent cognitive skills. You've got to be able to think, and you've got to be able to perform under pressure. All things that I was able to do, and I demonstrated time and time again. But when people are screwing with your life, messing with your head, and basically letting you know that we hate you at work, it created such a work conflict that I could no longer focus on what I was doing, and I had to leave. On top of that, there were many times where I'd come to work and my patients were being harassed. I'm not going to go into any of this, but there were several instances where my patients could have been physically, severely harmed, and they would have been harmed in an attempt to either set me up or to make me look bad or to harass me. And in my mind, I couldn't accept that, and if that meant walking away from a paycheck, so be it. And since I lost my career as a nurse, October 2008, I lost my medical license as well as a nurse, or nursing license, not medical. I would not wish the life of a targeted individual on anyone. You cannot believe what I've had to endure on a day-to-day basis. These people have no compassion, no kindness, no empathy. Some of them do. But as I spoke earlier, a lot are conscripts, and they're doing it out of fear of this man. This man cannot rein in his emotions. He has to believe in his own ego, his own superiority, his ability to brawl, his ability to dominate, and that's what he does. He's a dominating figure, and no matter who he has interactions with, they're either going to do what he says or he's going to mow them over. And that's why so many of these people in the Klan are actively harassing me. It's not because they hate me for something that I did. Maybe some of them do. But I can tell during this last campaign, there were a lot of people who participated in it, and I talked to them, not trying to harass them, but just to get a feel of, what's going on with them. And I could really sense by reading their body language and interpreting the way they talked, the way they made eye contact or the lack thereof, the way they jittered and shivered and everything else, that they weren't there to really harass me. They were there out of fear of Wayne Morse of Bullard, Texas. It's really sad that I have to get on video camera and make this public notice, because I wanted to keep this private as long as possible. But I can't keep it private anymore. I'm trying to get a business going, and he is going to shut that down. I'm trying to get a job, and he's going to interfere with that. I'm trying to pay my rent, and he has interfered with it, just like he has done many times before. I'm educated enough that I should be working as a nurse, and by now I would at least be an associate degree of nursing graduate. And I would have been an RN now for, I don't know, 15, 20 years or so. But I can't do it because this man has destroyed my career and my reputation. If I were to go before the board of nursing and explain this to them, I doubt that they would fully understand, and they may go, oh, this sounds kind of weird, we don't understand. But it is what it is. But I have faithfully endured all of this. Though I did have a violent outburst a while ago, I am a man of God, and in August, 2 weeks before this program began again, in August of 2021, I gave my life to Jesus Christ once again. I rededicated my life to Him. I've already showed you the Bibles that I read from, and I read from them on a daily basis. The language that you heard out of me, no one's heard that language in a while. I no longer listen to heavy metal. I don't listen to filthy music. I have relapsed from time to time back into light core pornography. Any pornography. It's not good. I am trying my best to serve my Creator with all my heart and all my mind, all my soul, and all my spirit. With that said, I have prayed for this man and for the men that he conscripts and enlists into this program of hate. I prayed to him, not to him, but to the Lord, to save his soul and to pull him out of this. I don't know why God has this dance going on between me and him, but I do believe it is for a reason, and I don't know what that reason is. I'm almost finished reading the entire book, all of the books of the Bible, and if I've understood anything, that everybody in this world, God loves us all, and we all dance with one another, whether we want to or not, because there's a purpose and there's a plan. Whether we know it or realize it, that may not be for us to know, but there is. There's no happenstance that I believe. My personal wishes and desire is that this man would check himself, do a thorough self-inspection, and look around at the people that he's bullying and he's forcing to participate in this. These people have had enough of following his orders when he barks around at them. He is using this Klan to serve his own interest. The Klan doesn't exist to stalk Doug Jones. The Klan doesn't exist to harass other people. I don't know what the core values and core beliefs of the Klan is, but I don't think the Klan is set up to participate and engage in illegal activity. I don't have a problem with the Klan as long as the Klan, doesn't break any laws or anything else like that. I don't have a problem with Black Lives Matter. I don't agree with the Klan. I don't agree with Black Lives Matter. I don't agree with the Panthers or any other subversive group. But under the United States Constitution, we've got the right to assemble, and we've got the right to believe what we want to. But we do not have the right to illegally target and harass other people. And that's what that man has been doing since day one, since after that phone call on that dreadful night that I made that bad mistake. I want this to end peacefully. I want this to be over. I want to be able to live my life in peace, and I want to be able to pursue my Creator with everything that I have and not have violent outbursts like that again. However, if I would have peacefully tried to explain my point of view, perhaps nobody would have understood it. I felt that it was only through this violent outburst that I could make it emphatically clear that I am sick of it. I've had enough of it, and I'm not going to tolerate any of it. And if this man sends you out on another mission, you ought to have enough courage to tell him no. And enough of you band together and have a talk with him and say, look, brother, this is your problem with him. You need to settle this problem with him and leave us out of it. This is your family business. It's not our business. Yes, we are brothers, but we're not brothers to wipe each other's tail every time we go to the bathroom. And that's basically what you're asking me to do, is to handle your business on your behalf. You need to handle your own business. So I invite you, Wayne Morris. I invite you to call me, and so we can make arrangements to bury this and put this thing away and to solve it like men, not like 3-year-olds, not like bullies, to settle it like men. Stop harassing me. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for watching this episode of that Gang Stalking Show. I didn't know it was going to turn into this, but it has. But it had to be said. If you can please donate to the channel, I'd appreciate it. I need gas money so I can go find work. Thank you.